This is the very first match of the 2024 time trial. We're off to a great start. TT Amulet No Wrong Warp Tournament. Today's match is dalerben versus MorKs. Lovely matchup. With me on comms today is also Trident Tail.
Hello, here totally last minute, but I'm just so darn excited for this tournament that I felt like I had to jump on and provide a little commentary for the inaugural match.
Absolutely. As a fellow Canadian, who do you think is going to win, Canada or Canada?
You know what? That's really tough to answer, but I think Team Canada has got this one in the bag.
I would have to agree with it. It's a tough decision.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, well, they're both French Canadian, but MorKs is from Quebec. I don't know if is Ben from Ontario.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. Well, we might have to. Okay, so story developing. But it could be a case of Ontario versus Quebec, maybe. You know, a grudge match as old as time.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get the run started here. I think in a quick moment. I think we are ready to go. Yep, and they are off to the races.
So what the heck is this category?
So this category it's brand new. It's been on the leaderboards since October of last year, but we've actually been running it and optimizing it prior to its inception on the leaderboards. This category was first thought up by Sweener, I believe, and we had a good month of discovery for the routing and the, what's faster, what's slower, and from there we kind of discovered ourselves in this really unique new category where it's an adventure category, just like any percent, 100%, starting on a new file, but the way we finish this is by only collecting the amulet pieces, prioritizing the amulet pieces, and playing certain races that are faster over others to get balloons, to get into doors that have the keys to go to the minigames. What's also cool about this route is we don't do any silver coins or any bosses either. So, just like with all the other routes, it's going to start with a very normal collection of all the overworld balloons, all 4 of them, and then going right into Dino.
Are we gonna see any sub 140 overworlds, maybe?
Possibly. Everything looks good so far. I really struggle for some reason. I don't practice overworld as nearly as enough as I don't practice it enough. Let's be honest.
MorKs is having a pretty clean overworld here.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Make sure not to miss that last one.
Right about 141.
Yeah, 141.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
I'll take that every day. So what's also interesting about this route is normally when we go into Dino for any adventure mode category, we go to Jungle Falls right away. But this route has a super unique optimization of the routing because, as you'll see in a little while, we need to finish the minigame before we finish the 4th race. And because of the placement of the doors here in this lobby in particular, we actually end up going to Fossil Canyon first. That is actually a faster path to take for this beginning section.
Yeah, you might be wondering, well, I mean, why not just do the 4 races first and then finish off the mini game and then go off to wherever we need to go off to? Well, once we get to Hot Tub Volcano, it's, we'll make it pretty clear why it's routed in the way that it is routed. But, that's a story for, a little later.
There's already a pretty good Fossil Canyon here from MorKs. It's zooming quite fast.
Yeah,
Might
he's
be a
gonna
sub
get sub
here.
1 here, so.
Oh, very good start from MorKs. That's beautiful.
And a first framer, very good.
Ben also with a first frame skip as well. Slightly slower, so MorKs pulls ahead after the first race here. And now comes the first level where we need to collect a key. And, oh, he gets the Blake Bates, the double single. Usually most people screw this up, but no, looks like he handled it very well. A lot of people, they get really excited when they get the double single and they kind of just fire it off rapidly, but there is like a delay you need to do to use it effectively. Mork
Yeah,
still
MorKs
needs to pick up the
actually.
key here.
Oh, yeah, MorKs actually, I think, did the right strategy there. Getting the double single there, you're gonna outpace the CPUs to that to a balloon on lap 2. So you should skip the key on lap 2.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, I think he missed a balloon, so he actually ended up not having the right pace
all right.
there.
They
But
both hit the skip. It was a
yeah,
pretty close start already. It's good to see.
yeah, Ben definitely caught up a little bit in that race.
Now we go to Jungle Falls. This is usually the first track, but this fun routing, we can do this third.
It's actually kind of nice that you get to start off this run with Fossil Canyon, one of the rougher tracks
Yeah,
in DKR. I would say it's pretty. It feels very inconsistent. Um, so that's nice that you get to get that one out of the way first.
yeah. Fossil Canyon easily has some of the biggest variance from one attempt to another of any track in the early game. Jungle Falls, if it goes well, you won't be going that fast, and if it goes bad, you won't be going that slow either. So when grinding for a PB, it's really nice to get Fossil Canyon out of the way. What's also nice about this category is we don't have to repeat any races. Like, we don't have to do Dino 5 times. Another cutscene skip from both of them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now, they've completed 3 races. They've got the key. They're going to go to the minigame right now. There's a reason for that. We'll get to it just a little bit. But this
So
minigame
MorKs, just
is super tough.
yeah. So the object of this game is to collect 3 eggs and drop them in your nest. Of course, you can only grab 1 egg at a time. But the kind of awful part about this mini game is that you have to wait 10 seconds for each egg to hatch in your nest, and within those 10 seconds, a CPU can just come along and swipe it from you. So
Oh, it looks like Ben missed his 3rd egg placement.
that's really unfortunate. You also have to be very careful about how you place the eggs.
Yeah.
You could be right over your nest, but if you have too much height, it won't register for some reason.
Yeah, you
But
can kind of think of it like, if you drop an egg in real life, it'll like crack if you drop it from too far. It kind of does the same thing.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah. So Mark's going to pull ahead here, having basically a perfect Fire Mountain. Ben missed an egg placement, so he had to redo his 3rd egg. So he's going to maybe about 10, 15 seconds behind, but there's a lot of run left.
Yeah. So so we're doing this track last, well, for the Dino section anyway. And now, if you're familiar at all with Diddy Kong Racing speedruns, you know about the cutscene skips. You know that they're important. But for this category in particular, races like Hot Tub Volcano, when it comes to the cutscene skips, are a little bit more important. Do you want to shed some light on why that is?
Yeah, sure. So on the cutscene skip, it's a frame perfect trick. We have access to 4 options every single time, or at least most of the time. We only use one of those options, which is return to lobby. That just puts us back in the lobby that we started in, and we skip the cutscene of getting the balloon from Taj. Every so often, we'll also use reset race if we're doing like a silver coin routing, like for Future Funlander, Dragon Plane, and Hundo. There's a 3rd option that we don't use except for this category. Looks like MorKs missed his cutscene skip. Maybe Ben will get it so we can show it off here.
I wanted to show us why it's important to get this cutscene skip.
So MorKs missed it. Let's see if Ben gets it. He does. He uses the exit game option, and you can see the exact time save here. Brings you back to all these menus, and then you go right back to the overworld and you trigger the car challenge, whereas MorKs has to watch the cutscene of the boss presentation, drive all the way back to the overworld. So now,
finish your thought.
So now, even though Ben had about a 15-second deficit compared to MorKs, now he is about 8 seconds ahead.
Yeah, and then just to kind of piggyback off of that, I think that's why this tournament is going to be so exciting, is because there's lots of things that could go wrong. Like you could have a really, really awful minigame. But cutscene skip could also, someone could miss a cutscene skip, and then before you know it, you're just right back in it. So,
Yeah.
um, as Sweener was kind of saying in the introduction, um, you don't really want to get too discouraged or get down on yourself when you have a segment of the run that doesn't go well, because there's lots of opportunities within this very short run for you to make up that time. It just takes one small mistake on your opponent's part, and you're right back in it. So I think we're going to
Absolutely.
see some really exciting races this tournament.
So Ben is they're both on Frosty Village now. This is one of the harder tracks in snow, in my opinion. Some others. What would you think is the hardest track in Snowflake Mountain here?
I mean, I still struggle with Everfrost Peak.
Yeah.
But I mean, snow. I think I I can't speak for all runners, but I think a good majority of runners would say that the snow world in particular is could be possibly the hardest world in the game. It's um, yeah, Frosty Village, really really tough movement. It's really hard to get clean races here. Snowball Valley, that valley section is just so unpredictable with some
Yeah.
of the terrain. Everfrost Peak, like one of the few plane tracks that are completely in bounds, and plane movement is really difficult to get a good handle on. And Walrus Cove also has some really really tricky movement. So for me personally, I think snow is one of the hardest worlds in the game.
All right. So MorKs hit his cutscene skip, whereas Ben missed his. So now they are back neck and neck here.
Yeah,
Really,
crazy.
anything can happen in this category. You could either have a great mini game but miss your exit game cutscene skip, or it could be the other way around. But consistency is super important in this category because there's a lot of volatility, a lot of variance with really any one of these little parts and pieces to the run. It
Let's see
doesn't
how
have to
the
be
key
like
grab goes.
pretty decent. Looks like Ben got it a little bit better. Yeah, the key movement, I still struggle with it. It's super hard to have a really clean movement grabbing the key.
Ooh, wow. Ben, that was really fast.
Yeah,
It could have
almost
gone a
too
lot worse
fast.
there, but I think he managed it pretty well.
Yeah, this is one of the more inconsistent tracks, even if you're a car specialist. Like, the valley section alone, you can just get thrown in so many directions if you're not ready for it. Oh no,
That
that's not
is
good.
rough.
That should have been the cutscene skip frame as well. So, what just happened is MorKs went for the cutscene skip one frame early, so he returned to the lobby before he got his golden balloon. So now he has to redo this whole race, unfortunately. He got the key, so he doesn't have to pick it up again. But Ben is going to pull ahead significantly unless something horrible happens from now on. So MorKs will be quite far back, an entire race back now. He's not out of the contention by any means. There's still so much that can happen in this run. But it
And
looks
does get some good CPU patterns on Icicle Pyramid. Sometimes CPUs can just go off and do weird things, and
yeah.
but that doesn't look like it happened to Ben, so all good there. Oh, jeez.
He almost kind of did it again. He probably just didn't want to risk the same mistake. Kind of spooked him a little bit. That's really unfortunate time loss for MorKs. You know, he could always bring it back, or Ben could have something really unfortunate happen in the next mini games. Darkwater Beach is by far the hardest of the 4 mini games. We'll be coming up to it pretty soon here.
MorKs opting to restart this minigame, which I think is probably a safe bet.
Yeah, that was probably a smart decision there.
Yeah, he had a bonk on the way up. Now, the way the CPU patterns here work to get the optimal pattern, you kind of need to get up to this top section as quickly as possible. And so with that bonk, he was maybe afraid that the CPUs wouldn't act the way he wanted them to. So he's just going to restart the race, not take any chances, and he ends up getting it the second time there, no problem.
So now Ben here is getting on to his last lap of Walrus Cove. This track also, you can have some really big jumps on this track if you can learn how to chain the boosts correctly. I think Ben has actually been getting some really big jumps here. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I wonder what strat he does here. Does he go for the... He doesn't.
At least, yeah, lap 3 here. He seems to be boosting into the zipper for the ending, at least.
Oh.
A little bit too much speed there.
Well, there's
Yes.
6 seconds gone from that lead.
Oh,
Nice.
MorKs gets the YOLO
there.
jump. Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Oh, he stays on.
Wow.
Nice.
That is so hard to do. Like when you're on the side of that like really narrow path, like it is really easy to just make the wrong adjustment there and then go right into the ice. Like you're just like, it's panic mode.
Yeah.
But he was able to keep it together, not fall into the ice. He even hits the zipper too, which is like really weird because he was like right on the side.
Yeah.
Oh,
my goodness.
Okay. Wow.
That will probably be gone by the time he comes back. But yeah, that narrow bridge section, the left path, if you're off by even a little bit, if you're on the sides of it, if you try to move away from it, you'll actually get pulled in again. And if you try to stay where you are, that's kind of the correct move, is to just kind of go with the flow of what happens. Because if you try to fight it, it'll fight you back even harder. Let's see if he gets the skip. Doesn't. So he's going to remain 6 seconds behind against the Walrus Cove from Ben.
Yeah. We got an important cutscene skip here, though.
Goes for quite early. 2 buffers. That's fine.
Yeah.
So he gets it. So now what that does is, again, that skips the boss presentation cutscene and then also skips the movement to the overworld to start your next vehicle challenge. And the next one is the hover challenge, which is... let's see, Patty is here. So I have to say that this is not my least favorite vehicle challenge.
I'm going to be offending the viewers now.
Yeah. Hover challenge is very cool and very good.
Yeah. It makes the thumb feel really good.
Yeah, especially when you do it and then you go right into Whale Bay and then Pirate Lagoon. Just like 3 hover tracks in a row. The world record on hover challenge still boggles my mind because I have no idea how I'm supposed to go faster on that. I try to go tight, I try to snake consistently, try to take the bridge cut on laps 2 and 3, and then I'm like 2 seconds behind. It's magic what top hover players can do sometimes.
It's all in the booty wiggle, man.
Yeah, MorKs hits the exit game cutscene skip, so he will remain on the same pace. He'll move into the hover challenge. Ben will be finishing up the hover challenge.
Looks like he's going to get a 112?
112. So MorKs is about 1 minute and 13 seconds behind Ben. Could come back. There is still Darkwater Beach ahead of Ben. It could go horribly wrong. We'll see. I hope not. I hope nothing terrible happens to any racer.
I mean, we don't want to jinx, you know, or...
Yeah. Commentator's jinx is real.
Oh, Pirate Lagoon.
Yep. We don't have enough balloons to go into treasure caves right away.
Oh, I usually do...
Yeah, I've seen your route, and it's a very interesting route that you have. I'm sure it isn't like slower, but you do the doors like in a different order than I've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, what most people have been doing is going into Pirate Lagoon first, and then moving to the left to Crescent, move to the left to Whale Bay, move to the left again for the minigame Darkwater Beach, and then cut all the way across to finish in Treasure Caves. But
interesting.
I think you do Darkwater Beach earlier, which kind of is a good thing because it gets it out of the way sooner.
Yeah. I mean, like Sweener said, there's really like this is I guess there's a like a suggested route, but really there's no rules other than you got to get the TT amulet and you can't use the wrong warp. But however
Yeah.
you choose to accomplish that task is really up to you.
Yeah. And that's what I love about DKR speedruns in general, especially for a route like this, is that there is a lot of ways to change up the route to add a little bit of personality and preference to it without being like too far behind. Is as we get to the dragon world, you have a choice. It's pretty close. If you're really good with car, you can instead play Greenwood Village. If you're really good with plane and you want to risk it, do the out of bounds, then you can do Windmill Plains. Both are pretty close to each other in terms of the amount of time it takes to complete it and then move into the last level to collect the key. And me personally, I've been doing like Windmill Plains recently because I want to get the fastest time possible, even if it's like a very marginal time save. Ben going for the key grab here. He went pretty wide. Looks like he grabbed it fairly fast.
You don't have to swim that much into the water, but
It's actually deceivingly hard to have a very clean key grab in Crescent Island here.
oh wow, Ben
It's a
out for
good
blood
snipe.
with the rocket shot. I'm not a very aggro DKR runner, you know. The CPUs I generally leave them alone, but
It's
sometimes
probably
you
for
just
the
gotta,
better as well.
yeah.
And what's interesting about that is the CPUs will actually mimic your item usage. Like even if you rage honk because you're upset, they'll actually make it harder. They'll place down items if they have them or try to shoot you. So they actually like make it worse for yourself if you rage honk or use items when you don't need to.
When are we employing honk strats, Mr. Ponytail, to have more favorable CPU?
That's something
Item.
I've actually been working on that
Of course you
somewhat
have.
recently for a few tracks. Mork's going for the key grab here. A little bit wide as well, but the cycle will work out pretty well. But yeah, there is actually some ways to manipulate the CPUs to use items to make you go a little faster. Not really like they're boosting you, but you can prevent them from placing items, essentially, if you just don't use an item at certain times. Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Morks
You
is
might have,
scaring me.
yeah.
Look, the more time you spend in the menu, obviously, that's time you're throwing away. But when it comes to the cutscene skips, you really need to make sure that A, you have the right frame, and
Oh,
B,
Ben missed a shot in Dark Water on the first
that's
CPU.
gonna be rough.
This might be the break that Morks needed to come back here. So now, if you really mess up anything on the first CPU here, if you miss any of the 4 shots, you have to resort to camping. Becomes the new fastest strategy. You have to abandon the fast strategy completely. And it's a little bit slower, but it can be optimized. Like you can camp fairly fast if you know how to grab these balloons. And even though Ben had to do camping, it looks like he still did it quite well. But it's definitely not faster than the fast strategy. So if Morks can do the fast strategy, he can come back by a little bit.
Morks, I think, has a fairly decent all minigames time, so I know he can do the fast strat. Look, folks, cutscene skips are hard. One frame trick. That's also a really, really hard one to nail because there is tons of lag at the end of the finish line there. So the rhythm that you use to buffer, you need to kind of double tap at a much slower rate than you typically would. So it's kind of hard to adjust to the lag there.
Looks like he missed the long shot, but that one's kind of an optional one. If you can get it, then you can do the fastest strat possible. But looks like he also got slightly bad RNG on the fast strat. The
Yeah, no,
two
Diddy's
CPUs
not
that...
gonna...
Yeah, he's not
Diddy's
going to the
not
right
coming
spot.
up. Oh.
And also, typically, those second and third CPUs, they'll engage each other, and they'll actually shoot each other once, saving you having to shoot them yourselves. But it looks like did fairly decent execution, but got unlucky with the CPUs cooperating. So I'm not sure how this will affect his pace compared to Ben, but there was an opportunity to gain some ground. Looks like wasn't able to get it this time. And Ben also hit his exit game cutscene skip here, so to remain on the same pace, MorKs is also going to have to hit this here. I think this is probably one of the worst ones to miss, because it takes such a long time to get out of the lobby in Sherbet.
Yeah, that's just because of the nature of hover, right? It just takes a while to get up to speed.
Rage honks from MorKs here.
Yeah.
It's
MorKs
valid.
doing a little bit of science.
56 plane challenge for Ben. That's
56? That's really good.
Yeah.
Super solid. We're getting to the end here. Is Ben gonna go for... Ben's gonna go for Windmill Plains, you think, right? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
MorKs, I feel you. Treasure Caves is absolutely awful.
Right. He hits the exit game, that's good. He'll stay on the same pace. But from here, I would have to think the only way MorKs can come back is if Ben misses the out of bounds here quite hard, and then also has a poor key grab. Ooh, okay, he gets out of bounds and he stays out of bounds. He almost had too much speed.
It's also very possible to void out here. The confines of this track are very tight, so if Ben kind of goes too low or somehow gets off of his line to the point where he kind of gets out of the confines of this track, then he could void out, which completely negates all of your lap progress. That's a pretty rough mistake, but it looks... You know, Ben's been playing this game for quite a while now at this point, so I wouldn't expect mistakes like that from him.
Going for a safe cutscene skip approach. Gets it first frame as well.
He restarts the race, though.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, that only loses a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So now that this is the whole goal of the category here, is to get up to 20 balloons so we can get into Boulder Canyon where the Smoky Castle key is. There is a separate category for this, a subcategory where we are allowed to use this wrong warp glitch in Hot Top Volcano in hopes of getting the 1 in 8 Dragon Plane so we can go into Smoky Castle and skip this 20 balloon requirement and having to grab the key. It looks like he grabs the key pretty cleanly, and if you don't know, you don't need to finish a race after grabbing a key to get progression for that key. You can back out immediately after picking it up. So now, Ben is on the home stretch here, just has to complete Smoky Castle. Oh no. The game is being so mean to MorKs on this run.
Yeah, it's not looking good for MorKs, but he's still got 2 more races in this group stage, so...
That's true.
We're not going to see the last of him here. He's definitely gonna turn it up in his next races, for sure.
MorKs is a super strong player. He's one of the higher seeds in this tournament as well. Ben is also a super strong player. This is a tough matchup for both of them as well. Like, I think they're seated right next to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. 4th and 5th seeds, respectively.
Yeah. But this is going to be the win for Ben here with a 28-14. GG's to Ben. MorKs is going to be finishing up his run here. He's just finished one of the planes. Going to go grab that key and finish off his run. Yeah, Ben, that's an incredible run from Ben. 28-14. Did he miss one of the exit game cutscene skips, or did he hit all three?
I think he got all of them. Because Ben had the mistake in Fire Mountain.
Oh, that's right. And then he came back because he hit it, and whereas MorKs missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In fact, like pretty clean with the cutscene skips. I wasn't keeping track of how many he missed, but I don't think he missed too many.
No, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah. So super solid.
All right, let's see a clean Smoky Castle from MorKs here to finish off this match. And the strategy that we use here in Smoky Castle is probably the simplest fast strategy of the 4 minigames. We're just going back and forth between these 2 sets of bananas. You have to avoid that CPU. They'll have a missile. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
I want to see this.
That setup looks fine.
Yeah, it looks good.
So
he's setting up a dupe strat here. So if he he's using this wall clip to kind of align himself. Oh, I think he dropped.
Yeah, I think either the placement was too late or something was just barely off with his setup there. You want to hit the mine at the same time that you're depositing a banana, and then that banana that you would drop also gets deposited. So you basically just create another banana where you can just pick it up instantly afterward.
Doesn't get the dupe, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So what he was trying to do is, if you take damage from the mine as you're depositing your bananas, you can actually drop the bananas as they're going into your chest, basically duping another banana. But wasn't able to get it. But good, MorKs is being a good sport, trying to show it off.
Yep. The swag finish, in a sense.
For sure.
Yeah, that's going to be the end of the first match. That is 28-14 for Ben, and MorKs with a 30-36, so the win will go to Ben here. Very strong matchup here. It's kind of a coin flip. Either one could have taken this, and the game was just so mean to MorKs here, unfortunately, but that's kind of the nature of this. Looks like the runners are coming in for some post-commentary. Hello, MorKs?
No.
Hello, Ben.
Hey.
Great matchup. I guess we'll start with what do we want to talk about first here? Obviously, good job to both of you. A lot of good sections in both of your runs. MorKs had probably one of the most unlucky runs I've seen in a very long time from someone playing this game. You have any thoughts?
So. I mean, it's kind of a meme that I reset before ending a track every tournament.
Oh no.
So hopefully that will be the only one.
Yeah, gotten it out of your system now.
Yep.
When did that happen?
Snowball Valley.
Ah.
It was super fun.
I guess if it's any consolation, at least it was on one of the shortest tracks in the game.
Yeah, I guess so. Like if I make the calculation, like I was going to lose the race anyway. I failed, so that's the outcome doesn't matter. I really wanted to put on a better show, basically. But that's fine. It's part of the tournaments.
Yeah, anything can happen in a tournament, and it just happened to the game being the way it is sometimes.
Fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Ben?
So Ben, you kind of got off to... You had a bit of a rough start. MorKs had an early lead, I think, after Fire Mountain, because you had a bit of an unfortunate Fire Mountain. Were you feeling, like, stressed at all, or feeling the pressure after that? Or were you kind of just like, it's whatever?
I was a bit annoyed with that Fire Mountain because that's a very dumb mistake. It's the kind of mistake that you makes you reset the Dino domain over and over.
Yes.
But no, I was feeling relatively calm. I mean, I didn't care if I missed the cutscene skips. I just didn't want to miss any of the big three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting all
So
the exit game cutscene skips are a big crux in this run. And I guess that's maybe one of the things that could be disliked in this run, the most disliked because of how much weight they have if you miss them. But in a tournament setting, getting them when your opponent doesn't get one can really turn the tide at any point in the matchup.
yeah,
I agree.
And Ben, I think you hit all three of them.
You did.
yeah. I think I only missed 2 skips, which were Frosty Village and Walrus Cove.
Yeah. Yeah. Frosty Village and Walrus Cove are actually, I would think, probably the harder ones in Snowflake Mountain, anyways.
I agree.
But what do you think you did best, Ben, in your matchup?
Uh, I would say my racing was pretty good. It was pretty consistent. So even if I would miss a skip here or there, it didn't feel too bad about my racing. So at least I had that going my way. I hit pretty much all the tricks that I had to do, like the out of bounds and stuff. So I
Yep.
think just the gameplay was there. The gameplay showed up.
Yeah. Especially, getting a low 28 as your first matchup, that's a great time to get. There really wasn't anything majorly flawed with your run. That's a great showcase from you. MorKs, what do you think you did best in your run, despite the things you had to overcome?
Yeah, I think like trying to keep my composure after Snowball Valley was a little bit harsh. Like I was kind of shook. I was like, oh yeah, okay, well, let's try to get into the game, and I feel like it took a couple of tries to get back into the game. But I feel probably my best was, I guess, my beginning. Like I was a little bit stressed out. I was nervous because it's tournament, and I feel like my beginning, especially like my entire Dino domain was pretty decent, apart from the fact that I missed Hot Tub Volcano cutscenes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was kind of a bummer, but it's fine because afterwards I was like, yeah, it can happen afterwards. And then I remember that I play against Ben, the most consistent player out there, so it was
The hell
it
you
was a bit
talking
scary.
about?
No, I mean, yeah, it just Ben is quite scary to play against. Like it's not our first time, and I feel like if I make a mistake, then it's gonna be hard to come back. But I kept my composure, but unfortunately, as you see, it didn't work out as much. I'm just happy I've completed the run, basically.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that. That's the best thing I've done. That's
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so
Any,
much, gentlemen. Any final thoughts before we close out the inaugural race?
You haven't seen the last of me. I will be back and not miss a level quitting out.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah.
GG's Morks though.
GG's, that was fun.
Congrats
Man.
to both of you.
Thank
Great
you.
first
Thank you.
match.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. But Papa Sweener wants us to let you know that if you want to stay on top of the race schedule as it's kind of unfolding, be sure to go and join the DKR Races Discord. Pretty sure that link is down in the About section. I'm sure. But as those races are scheduled, they will pop up in the events, and then you won't miss an exciting race in this tournament. So make sure you go and do that. Mr. Ponytail, anything else that we should probably say before we close this thing out?
Egg salad.
Egg salad. All right.
Egg
Well,
salad.
thank you so much for tuning in.
I think we're
And
gonna rate someone, right?
That is
I
true.
think
We
we
are
are,
rating someone
yeah.
here. Fellow DKR runner, who is also playing in this tournament. I believe, Obayo, number 3 seed, I believe, in the tournament. If I've got that right. We're gonna go show him some love. So wish him some good luck. I believe he's doing 100% DKR tonight. He's going for the 142. Who's gonna get it first? He'll probably get it first, honestly.
Is the raid message egg salad?
Sure, why not? Let's do egg salad for the raid message. But yeah, that's gonna be it for us. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. Go to the Discord to keep up to date with all of the matches that'll be happening in the coming weeks. And yeah.